Need a boost? Sometimes all it takes is tapping into your inner cool. Icebreaker's gum helps you unleash the confidence within. Each chew releases a rush of icy flavor powered by cooling flavor crystals, sending a wave of refreshment to reinvigorate all your senses. Icebreaker's convenient pack fits everywhere, from car cup holders to backpack pockets, so you can find your cool wherever you go. Grab Icebreaker's gum online or at a store near you.
When it comes to online college, Southern New Hampshire University is so good, it's scary. Listen, the facts don't lie. SNHU has degree programs that fit your goals, online classes that fit your life, and real support at every step. And if that wasn't enough, they've got some of the lowest online tuition rates in the U.S. This is an airtight case, you guys. Visit snhu.edu/morbid to get started. That's snhu.edu/morbid. Chilling crime cases are mysterious, but finding coverage shouldn't be. With the State Farm Personal Price Plan, you have options and can personalize your plan to help create an affordable price so you can get back to cracking all of life's bigger cases. Talk to a State Farm agent today to learn how you can choose to bundle and save with the Personal Price Plan. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Head to statefarm.com to get a quote. Prices are based on rating plans that vary by state. Coverage options are selected by the customer. Availability, amount of discounts and savings, and eligibility vary by state.
Hey, weirdos. I'm Alaina.
I'm Ash.
And this is Morbid.
It's morbid.
Here we are. We're at part 4, guys.
We are. I want to just say sorry to you, especially if it didn't sound like I was interested yesterday.
Who, me?
Yeah, because
you don't have to apologize to me.
Well, I saw a couple people say it didn't sound like I was interested, and I was like, oh no, I'm literally just very sick.
I was gonna say Ash has had a gnarly cold for days,
but I am very much interested. This case is just mind-boggling. But I don't want you to think that I'm not interested.
No, I would
you
never
didn't
think that. No, I knew you were interested.
But hey, you listeners.
Hey, you.
I'm interested, and I hope that you guys didn't feel like I wasn't. I'm just sick.
No, she's just super sick, and it's the monotone Dayquil voice, kind of thing.
I was hopped up on the Dayquil yesterday.
The Dayq.
And I also was trying, if anytime you made a joke, I was don't laugh, because then it would send me into a coughing fit. So I was very subdued laughter.
Well, on that same vein, I think we'd said this guy got naked before calling Grace into the house. It was clearly sexually motivated, whether he says it or not.
Yeah.
There's one thing that I didn't say just because it's so foul that I didn't want to say it that will kind of dispute this. Because a lot of people were he said in the letter that he got naked because he didn't want blood on him.
That wasn't the means in which he killed her.
Well, and there's a few things that I can tell you that is wrong. Yes, he did say that. One, I don't believe anything Albert Fish says are his motivations, because he's a lying sack of shit.
He also said he only killed one kid.
Well, 2, he got naked before calling her in so that she had to see him standing there naked before she ran away. And he choked her, which doesn't involve blood. Right. So he didn't need to get naked before killing her. He could have done it after. That was definitely his own sexual thing.
Yeah.
And the thing that I wasn't going to say, but now I'm going to say it just to make sure that it's very clear that he did this on purpose and that this wasn't just to make sure he didn't get blood on his clothes. He said to several of the investigators that he got intense sexual pleasure out of choking her. I will end it at that, but the most you can get.
That's why he was naked.
That's why he was naked. This wasn't a case of him being well, I don't want to get blood on my clothes. He wrote that in the letter, but he wrote a lot of shit in the letter that he probably didn't do.
Exactly.
And I just wanted to clear it up that he is a sexual pervert. Mm-hmm. He did that because he wanted to scare this 10-year-old girl with his dick. That's why he did it.
100%. He's a vulgar, crude, disgusting, depraved individual.
Him claiming this whole thing of it never entered my mind to sure, maybe he didn't physically rape her, but he absolutely assaulted her in a different way sexually. And he definitely used her in that way. So he's disgusting. He's a perverted rapist. And I know, like, people were just trying to point it out, but, like, I just wanted to be clear that, like, he's a lying sack of shit.
Right.
We shouldn't believe what he says. He exaggerates. He lies. He tries to make himself look like a kindly old gentleman.
Right.
I took my clothes off because I didn't want blood on them. Like, he didn't give a shit.
It's like, no, you were choking her.
He
That doesn't
literally,
make
like,
sense.
covered himself in blood on the regular. Like, he was beating himself with a paddle with nails on it, and then he just put his shirt on. Like, he didn't give a shit about
And there's
blood on
also,
his
like,
clothes.
in, like, many numerous ways where he couldn't have gotten blood on him afterwards. Like, he could have put like a sheet over himself. Like,
Yeah, they
he
was
got
just-
naked to be disgusting.
If he had killed her in a different way, if he had mentioned that he was going to kill her, you know, he killed her by stabbing her
Right.
or bludgeoning her even, and he didn't want to get blood spatter on his clothes, sure, like, I can believe that. But
Yeah.
he knew he was going to choke her. And
Agreed.
that doesn't involve blood. He just wanted to scare a little girl. He's a fucking monster. He's the literal boogeyman. So I just wanted to, I wasn't going to let that one because it's, like, real foul, but I feel like it's important to know at this
Yeah.
point that he is a lying sack of shit, and that letter really doesn't mean shit. Because honestly, we don't even know if that's how he killed her. So we
So
honestly
sad.
don't know, and we'll never know. Because he made sure of it, because he's an asshole. But yeah, so I just wanted to point that out. And I found out something really interesting. One of our patrons, Felix, I want to thank him for, like, putting this little thing out there. Dr. Wortham, the defense's, like, expert witness, the psychologist who he really told a lot to, he actually went on to publish a book called Seduction of the Innocent.
Oh.
And it was apparently all about how comic books and movies and television create criminals. So he's the defense's expert witness for this whole thing. So
I wish you could
Just-
see my
yeah.
face right now. I'm like, oh,
you're like,
that argument.
yeah, he went on to create a couple more books too. He really devoted his life and his professional life into saying that entertainment created criminals.
The movies made me do it.
Pretty much. So thank you, Felix, for pointing that out, which allowed me to go deeper into that, because when I found it out, I was like, what?
You were
And
like,
then
oh, let's
it
go.
made a lot of sense. So yeah, that's crazy. But I think when we left off yesterday,
Yesterday.
we had just found out that he had shoved what ended up being about 29 needles into his groin and pelvis.
Oh, yeah, that's where we left off.
And that the chief radiologist, Dr. Roy D. Duckworth, was the one who got the distinct pleasure of taking that x-ray.
Yep.
And that they were different sizes. They were different time periods of being in there. Some of them were fresh,
Like rusty.
like only from a couple of weeks ago. Some of them were so old they were like corroding inside of him. And they didn't take them out. I think somebody asked us, like, did they take those out? Because couldn't they be like weapons? Kind
Yeah.
of? And that's a very good point. They were so far inside of him
That he couldn't get to them.
They couldn't even remove them. Like,
He'd have to have like
medically,
actual
he would have to have
surgery.
like legit, and some of them were like embedded into his system, so it's like they literally couldn't.
Oh,
But don't worry, they were definitely not reachable to be weapons for sure.
gotcha.
Which is horrifying. But now we are getting to the trial. So March 1935 was the trial for Albert Fish for murdering Grace Budd. And not Grace Spud, Grace Budd. Not a gray potato.
I know. I've seen a lot of that.
So
going
many
on,
people
too.
were like, which I get it, because when I say it fast, go like Gray Spud.
Yeah.
It sounds like Gray Spud.
But it's like Worcestershire sauce all over again.
It really is. And I'm also like, she's 10 years old and she got murdered. So let's
Yeah.
make sure her name is Grace Budd. I didn't realize, like I said before, that the Lindbergh baby trial was at the same time that this was going on. I
Yeah.
had no idea that I didn't put it together in my brain. I don't
Yeah.
know why. Same time period. I don't know why I didn't think of it. But that's why Albert, while he got a ton of attention in the press, it was a little shoved off to the side because obviously the Lindbergh baby trial was like
I was gonna say.
the thing. But while this was going on, he corresponded, like I said last episode, with his children via letters. They're very interesting to see. And Deranged, the book, has a lot of these letters. And I, again, implore you to read that book if you want to know more about this case, because he got like a lot of access to different documents. So at this point, he had decided that his son, Albert Jr., was just his nemesis at this point. Because remember, Albert Jr. was the one who had denounced him publicly. Was like, that old skunk, I knew something like that would happen.
Yep.
He was the one that said, my God, Grace is the name that he was screaming in his sleep for months. But he spoke to his other children. He would not speak to Albert Jr. And he would only call him A when referring to him in letters to his kids.
Dude, you're the fucking murderer here.
It's wild. In fact, in January of that year, he wrote to his daughter Gertrude, and he said, what A does, I don't care. He is no son of mine. Now, dear Gertie, if you never do anything else for me, I want you to do this. Don't you ever call him your brother again. Never allow him inside your home. Teach your little ones to despise him.
Why?
What the fuck? It's like, because he thinks you're an old creep?
Because you are an old creep?
You murdered a little girl and admitted it. Like,
you murdered
really?
multiple little children.
And it's like, Gertrude thinks you're an old creep too. She just doesn't know how to handle it. Like,
right.
That's all, because you've messed them up in many ways.
It's like, you think you can control us from prison too? And like you get to decide what's going to happen to my children, you child murderer?
Like, really? Are we really going to go here? No, he also wrote to his son, John. John is the one that was working in North Carolina, and he was the one sending him up those $25 checks every month.
Were you going to say gift cards?
I almost said gift cards.
Those $25 Target gift cards.
That every single month. Like, at that point, I'm like, was it Radio Shack? I don't know. But John was working in North Carolina as part of the Civilian Conservation Corps. And he was, again, sending him those monthly checks. He wrote him, so Fish wrote John, that although he didn't blame him, it was definitely his fucking fault for joining the CCC and getting him caught. Because if he wasn't going to get that check that he was sending him every month, then he never would have been found out.
How dare you send me money, son?
So he's literally saying, and it's not even, like, that's even crazy to be like, you sending me those checks got me caught. He's like, you never should have got a job in North Carolina at the CCC and then sent me those checks every month. Because if you didn't join that job in North Carolina, I never would have got caught.
Your home should show off who you are. Now is the time to boldly write the newest chapter in your home story. And your main character? It's Ashley. Ashley has styles that balance timeless appeal and modern trends to bring your personal look home. Yes, these are well-crafted and affordable pieces with eye-catching design, but they're also built to stand up to real life. With features like stain-resistant performance fabric, options that are incredibly durable, easy to clean, and stain-resistant with machine-washable covers. Plus, Ashley provides fast, reliable, white-glove delivery right to your room of choice, so you can style your space without any stress. Ashley was nice enough to send us a bunch of new pieces for my pod lab at my house, and when I tell you they deliver it to your room of choice, unfortunately, they did have to deliver to the attic, but they could not have been nicer about it. I got, or was gifted, I should say, the Revion Lake sofa and love seat. It's in this like olive-colored, velvety fabric. It's so nice. I will say it is so freaking easy to clean because if you know me, you know that I have a white cat and a black cat and then a multicolored cat. The white cat loves to just roll all up on this furniture and leave his hair everywhere, but it's so easy to vacuum. I also got the Meili coffee table. So I have that, like I said, in my attic, but I'm ready to order another one for my living room because this coffee table is so beautiful. It has this like antique old money vibe to it. I absolutely love it. And then finally, I got three actually of the core stone end tables. They have little shelves in them so you can dress them up and, kind of like personalize them to your style. I highly, highly recommend all of the pieces that I got. And I just recommend Ashley in general. It was such an easy process to shop with them and the delivery, all of that from start to finish. It was awesome. Visit your local Ashley store or head to ashley.com to find your style. Getting paid twice a month doesn't mean money is scarce. It just feels that way. That feeling makes you do weird stuff, like putting things on a card you didn't need to. Earnin removes that feeling. With Earnin, you can access up to $150 per day of money you've already earned, plus up to $1,000 between paychecks. Standard transfers take 1 to 2 business days with no mandatory fees, and expedited transfers start at $3.99 and cap at $5.99. 5 million people are already on it, and honestly, it's wild it didn't exist sooner. Download Earnin on the App Store or Google Play, spelled like earning money without the G. Type in Morbid under podcast when you sign up. It'll really help the show. Earnin is a financial technology company, not a bank. Access limits are based on your earnings and risk factors. Standard cash outs take 1 to 2 business days with no mandatory fees. Expedited transfers available for a fee. Tips are voluntary and don't affect the service. Available in select states. Terms and restrictions apply. Visit earnin.com for full details.
He wrote him and said, "I don't blame you, my son, for my trouble, but if you had not joined the CCC, I would not be in here. I waited for the check until December 13th when I went to 200 East 52, and then I got caught." So he's literally like, bitch, you sent me a check late, and that's how I got caught.
If I was John, I would literally be like, I'm glad that I sent you the check late because it got a child murderer off the streets. Also, don't fucking write me again.
It's outrageous.
XOXO, John.
It is outrageous.
P.S. You fucking suck.
And he was telling his other children the same thing, that it was the check that ruined him. And
No,
not
I think it was
actually
the
murdering
murder.
children. It was, I got caught and my life is ruined because John sent me those checks. If he had never joined the CCC, I never would have been caught.
That way of thinking is so scary.
It's so
the
disordered.
way that people can just turn things around and make it not, like, make things that are their fault not their fault is the craziest thing to me.
It's outrageous.
Like, that is like gaslighting to the highest degree.
Oh, yeah. And then he would write to his daughters, like, that he was worried about them and that he wanted them to save their money, especially his daughters. His sons, he was definitely, like, trying to take care of, quote unquote, through letters. But his daughters, he was, like, seemed genuinely worried for their well-being.
Okay.
And he wanted to make sure they had money and food. And he actually told Annie at one point, his daughter, he said, "Don't come visit me." He was like, and it's not because I don't want to see you. I just want you to save your money. I don't want you to use it. Weird dichotomy.
Weird.
Now, and it's weird because it's like he's acting like this, like a father.
Right.
Like, don't waste your money to come see me. I would love to see you, but you need to feed your family.
Mm-hmm.
But then also, his kids knew that he had been shoving needles in his body. Some of them had seen them. Like, the needles were the thing. I think at this point, only a couple of them had seen it. Like, without his knowledge, but they knew about the beatings he inflicted on himself and how he was, like, manically religious and eccentric, as they called him. But they all again said he was a father and a mother to them, and they loved him. Like, they didn't want to, but they did.
Yeah.
And his daughter Gertrude actually had a heart issue that she had been in the hospital for, and she was okay, but she was, like, had to be careful. And he wrote her, quote, now Gertie, dear, don't you come up here to see me. I'm afraid of your heart. And besides, I really believe I would go all to pieces when I see you. Which is like a father.
Absolutely.
Like, what the fuck?
Like, how are you able to do that but not look at a 10-year-old child, a
That's
10-year-old
the
little
thing.
girl, and, like, not think of your own children?
It's just, that's the thing. How do you not
Compare, right.
And how do you take that child from their
someone
parents
else.
after spending time with her parents and not think about it? What if somebody did that to you?
But I don't think...
It's empathy.
Right.
And that is sorely lacking in anything like
And he
this.
does have empathy because, like, he has empathy for his daughter.
Yeah. But I don't know.
I don't know. I think it's that he can't see outside of his wants.
Exactly. Like, he's so...
It's narcissistic.
It really is. It's truly narcissistic. But Gertrude was the one who had a daughter, Gloria, his granddaughter. And Gloria was the one that he was just, like, in love with.
I would hate that.
And Gloria was 11 years old. And he claimed to adore her. And he wrote her... This is the letter that is such a stark contrast to Mary Nichols, his stepdaughter's letter.
Yep.
How that one is, like, beyond
That one
inappropriate
made me
and scary.
so uncomfortable.
This one says, my dear little Gloria, your poor old grandpa got your sweet note you sent in Mama's letter. I am so glad to hear you still love me and always will. You know, as a baby and at all times, I loved you. There have been times when I was at Mama's that I was cross and cranky, but I had much on my mind. Since this has happened, Mama can tell you what that was. I'm so happy to know that you are doing so well at school. Stick to it and learn all you can. Someday before long now, you will be able to go to work and help poor Mama and Papa. They have struggled hard for each of you, as I have also struggled hard for each of them in the years that have passed. I am well. Trust in God and have no fear as to what the result will be. You know I love each of you dearly and always will. Pray every night for your poor old grandpa. Write soon again. If you read that, not knowing who that person is, you'd be like, oh man, this sweet old grandpa.
Yeah.
Like, that's how you talk to your grandchild.
Right.
Like, love you, so glad, so sad that sometimes I was cranky and I'm sorry for that. And your mama will explain it to you. And, you know, I love you. I've loved you since you were a baby. I always will. So glad you're doing great in school.
And it's so great. He writes to an 11-year-old and like never uses the word kitty.
No, that's
like,
exactly.
Because it's like he's in how do you say that word? Like infantilizing?
Yeah, it's like, that's exactly, it's like, he's like fetishizing
his 18-year-old stepdaughter.
18-year-old stepdaughter, but then like, which I'm glad he's not doing that to this 11-year-old, but it's like, what the fuck?
Just to see the stark contrast.
Like my step kitty kind of thing. And then with Gloria, he says, my dear little Gloria.
Right.
Which is so much more appropriate and adorable and like wholesome sounding, you know? And like, I don't know. It's just so weird to me.
And he's like,
I can't wrap my brain around it.
Like, I'm proud of you. Like,
and saying like your parents have struggled hard to make sure you're okay. I struggled hard for them. Someday you're going to be able to help them.
Right.
Like a very innocuous letter. It's so weird to me. I could not like just like wrestle with it. He will never be understood. This will never be understood.
And unfortunately, it's one of those things, like, he was right when he said, I think, like, what did he say? Society could benefit from studying my brain and body.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
I think we could.
I agree.
But then again, it's like the same thing. I go back to the, like, I don't want to get blood on my clothing thing. It makes sense that everybody's like, yeah, he said that in the letter.
Uh-huh.
We can't believe anything he says.
No.
I mean, look at him talking to his granddaughter, Gloria, and he's sitting there saying, I love kids, and anybody who hurts a kid should be horribly punished.
Uh-huh.
And then he's, a 10-year-old.
Right.
A year younger than his granddaughter.
It's so weird. If we could study his, like, I don't even know how it works, but if you could study his, like, brain responses and stuff like that versus things that he was saying, it'd be interesting.
Yeah, it would be. I think, it sucks that it was at the time that it was, because there was not a lot of technology or tools. But now you're just like, what the fuck was going on in there?
Right. It's like, I wish that you could have, like, shown him something and had his brain hooked up and seen the different parts that trigger.
It's true. It would have been very, very fascinating to just really use him, honestly, as a straight up guinea pig.
Yeah.
Like, just strap him in.
Also, I feel like he would have gotten some sick pleasure out of that.
He would have, for sure. So you can't win here.
No, it's a catch-22.
You really can't. Now, he went really deep. Like, he immediately fell back into, like, religion and the Bible again. He was reading it every day. He was quoting the scriptures.
Because what the fuck else is he gonna do?
But then, and here's the thing, another perfect example of him being a bullshitting son of a bitch. I'm obsessed with religion. I'm reading the Bible, like, blah, blah, blah. But then they would do Catholic masses at the prison for some of the Catholic prisoners.
Yeah.
And he would strip naked during these masses, stand in his cell, and jerk off to the sounds of them praying.
What?
Guards always stopped him, like, in the middle of it, but, like, this is what I'm saying. There's no logic happening here.
None whatsoever.
So you can't connect any kind of logic with him. Like, nothing connects. It's like one of those huge rubber band balls where all the rubber bands are all, like, corroded on the inside. Uh-huh. And when you peel them off, they're all stuck on each other and they make no sense and you can't unravel it at all.
You're getting stressed.
And when you open it up, you just end up seeing this, like, nasty, rotten ball of, like, corroded, like, rubber bands. So that's literally him.
Yeah.
None of it makes sense. There's no, like, finding that end and unraveling it.
Right.
It's just a mess.
That was a beautiful metaphor.
Thank you. I just came up with it.
A beautifully random metaphor.
A beautifully rancid metaphor. So during the trial, his lawyer, Dempsey, tried to claim that maybe he suffered from, like, lead poisoning.
What? Like, why?
So apparently lead colic was a common thing that house painters dealt with at the time because of the lead paint would poison them, essentially.
Yeah. Okay, I see it.
And it was part of the insanity defense they were desperately trying to get. And that's all well and fine. I understand why they were trying to get an insanity defense. And honestly, it's, like, not that far-fetched. But then you think about it, and he had already fucked his own defense, like, several times. Like, one, doctors already declared him sane several times. Two, He had said 1,000,000 times that he knew killing was wrong. He felt guilty after killing Grace Budd. The prosecution mentioned this in trial, saying, quote, he said that he knew what he was doing. He said that he knew it was wrong to kill and that after he had done so, he felt guilty. He knew it was a commandment that thou shalt not kill. That is what it says. He also had written and admonished his son for what he believed was the reason he got caught. So he admitted to actively avoiding police capture.
Boom, roasted.
He's not insane. He knows what's going on. He's insane in a totally different way.
Sure.
But criminally,
no.
He knows what's happening here. Legally, he's very aware of what he's done.
Yeah, he's aware of the law.
He was not out of his senses when he was doing this or afterwards or before. He's just gross and sick. Now, he also would nod off during the trial.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, he was like bored. And most of the time he sat there and just covered his face with his hand and just like stared off into the distance. And he would only get, when his lawyer would talk, he would sometimes like nod along with him. Like, yeah, like, hell yeah, Dempsey. But he would just like nod off. He had no reaction to any of like the horrifying things they talked about. He would just sit there like, yep, whatever. And the Budd family was actually on the stand at one point. All of them came on the stand like separately. And they were all asked one by one to identify Frank Howard, essentially. And Albert Budd, who had a glass eye and a cataract in the other eye.
Oh, man.
Got off the stand, walked right up to Fish sitting at the table, pointed at him in the face and said, this is the man. This is the man who took my child.
Oh.
Then he started sobbing.
No.
And they literally had to help him back on the stand, and they had to take a recess shortly so that he could like get
gather
together.
Himself. Yeah.
Now, the confessions he had given, the several confessions where they were essentially all the same, but once in a while he would add another layer to it. They were all read, and sometimes he laughed while they were read.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, like he would chuckle to himself about like certain parts. And while all this horrific stuff was being read or discussed, whenever they talked about the confessions or anything, the judge would order all the women out of the courtroom.
Oh, wow.
Because they said it was like not for women's ears. It was so horrifying, which is crazy to think of now.
Which is like weirdly like annoying.
Well, and it's like, it's just funny to think of now when you're like, we are two women who are literally doing an entire podcast about this. But
yeah.
Okay. Delicate sensibilities, you know?
Ooh, my pearls.
Now, all of his kids were on the stand at one point or another. They brought them all on and more or less said the same thing. He was a great father, just really eccentric. There were definitely some weird things. Then they would all relay some traumatic story of seeing him do weird shit.
Uh-huh.
And I think they would all slowly, like they'd get on that stand, they'd start talking. They'd say, you know, he was a mother, he was a father, he never beat us, he never hurt us, he never yelled at us, he never did anything bad. We always had food on the table. We always had things, the basic necessities we needed. But then they'd be like, like I walked in once and, you know, like he was sticking needles in his groin, but like, that's fine. And then you could see that they all were at one point being like,
oh, shit.
Oh, like, yeah, he didn't beat us or yell at us or like neglect us in any way. But like he was definitely abusive in some weird,
we just didn't realize it because that was
off-brand way.
Because that's normal to them, or not normal. Like as they got older, they knew it was wrong, but they probably wouldn't have if they hadn't grown up going to their friends' houses where their dads were not sticking needles in their groins.
Well, that's the thing, and I think it's like they were suddenly on the stand in real time, discovering, which is really sad. Like because they're going through this, and all of them at one point were like, oh, yeah, like, I guess it is weird that he would, like, once in a while allow himself to be seen doing the things that he would do to himself.
Right.
Which is so sad. It's just like a whole other crop of victims that didn't even know they were victims.
It is.
And now it's just like the glass shatter moment that they're all just discovering that they are trauma victims.
And to have to be like... And to have to go through that while you're already kind of losing your father.
Yeah.
In a weird way.
Because you are. You're losing who you thought he was.
I was just going to say that. Exactly.
Like, I imagine it's the same with like, you know, like BTK's daughter.
Yeah.
And, like son. You know, I imagine that it's one of those things where you know they're a terrible person now, but like you are losing someone who you thought was your father.
Well,
like,
because
you
then
don't know that person.
Yeah, exactly. Because then it's like you probably look back on your happy memories and you think,
what the
did
hell
he
was
kill
that?
someone that day? Like,
Exactly. Was
had he killed
thinking
somebody
about
the
it?
day before that? Was he trolling for a victim?
Yeah, it's I can't imagine.
And you probably look back on it and feel weird about yourself, like, for loving them, even though you're supposed to.
Exactly.
Because they love you in a weird way.
It's a very strange.
I can't imagine what that must feel like.
It's a whole different kind of victimization, you know. And I don't think they get enough credit for being
or
victims
recognition
as well. You know, like they don't get enough like somebody's got to take care of them too.
Absolutely.
Like that really stinks. But Albert Jr. was brought up by actually the defense to try to do like the insanity defense more, because they thought Albert had spent a lot of time with his father and or like when they were adults. So I think they thought he would have a better outlook on like, yeah, he's definitely insane. So he was asked about the paddles and the needles. And he said that one day he asked because several of the kids had noticed needles around. So he had asked his father, you know, we saw needles around, we saw this paddle.
What's this about?
He said, quote, I asked my father who used the needles. And he said, I did. And I said, are they your needles? And he said, yes, they are. And I asked him what he used them for. And he told me he got certain feelings that came over him. And every time he did that, he would have to go into the bedroom or someplace and stick those needles into his body.
So do you think that was sexual, or do you think that was a punishment?
I think it was all wrapped into one. I think that sex and punishment, I think to him were hand in hand. Huh. I think that was like one didn't happen without the other, I think. In his mind. To me, that's what it looks like to me.
Yeah.
I by no means can like diagnose him with anything. To me, it looks like he has interlocked sex, pleasure, pain, and punishment.
All in one box.
And in not a normal like kink way. Like, you know what I mean? Like he's not just like, wow, I like pain and I like pleasure and I like to like intertwine them sometimes.
Right.
That's like a whole different thing. He brings it to like a religious punishment place and like a dark punishment place. And then like and on the stand, Albert Jr. was asked, did your father say anything about sticking those needles in other people? And he said, quote, yes, sir, he told me. Yes, sir, he did. He told me when I can't stick them in myself, I like to torture other people with them.
Okay, let's be honest. I feel like when we were all like really first starting our periods, we all had that moment where we bled through our jeans or something like that. And it always happened at school or at a sleepover somewhere really embarrassing. Periods always come with enough surprises, right? So nobody wants a pad that stinks. And honestly, women have been expected to just deal with that for way too long. That's why Kotex is changing the game with a completely redesigned lineup of pads and liners like Kotex BioCare. Kotex BioCare is the first and only pad with the pH proactive system that helps optimize the pad's pH. And the pad helps combat odor and irritants from period blood. Listen, we take care of our faces with 12-step routines, but we're just going to ignore our downstairs mix-up? Absolutely not. Kotex BioCare gets it, and I love that. Check out Kotex.com for more details on the new launch of Kotex BioCare, available in regular, heavy, overnight, and daily liners. Every flow covered. Now available at retailers nationwide. The Sherwin-Williams summer sale is here. Get 30% off select paints and stains or 35% off their newest product, Emerald Symmetry, July 17th through the 27th. Whether you're looking to refresh your interior or your exterior, they've got the colors to bring your vision to life. And with delivery, getting everything to your door is easier than ever. Shop online or visit your neighborhood Sherwin-Williams store. Retail sales only. Some exclusions apply. See store for details. Delivery available on qualifying orders.
Oh.
And I'm like, did anyone say Albert Jr., what? Like,
well,
did you,
maybe that was one of the times when he got admitted to a hospital or sent to prison.
Yeah, I wonder if something happened after that, but they didn't really push further. So I imagine something must have come out of that.
Because he spent time in hospitals and everything like that.
Oh, for sure. He was in Bellevue at least twice, and he admitted, and because the doctors and the staff at Bellevue got a lot of shit in this trial. Like, they got put on the stand, they got admonished for, you let him back out on the streets. And, you know, like at one point they were yelling at like the head of Bellevue, the head of psychiatry there. They were like, you know, Like, so you just let him back out on the streets. And the guy from Bellevue was like, we are a city hospital. Like, we can only do so much. And they were like, so what you can do is not the best. Like, you're not doing your best for these patients. And the person got mad and was like, we are doing our best. But like, what do you want from me?
Like, we only
I
have so many resources.
Yeah. And they were like, we can't, like, we can't predict that he's going to go out and murder people. If it doesn't look like he's going to, we can't pretend that he is.
Well, and we're not law enforcement.
That's and it's like, and we can only work with what we got. If he's going to fool everybody, there's only so much we can do.
And unfortunately, some people are able to fool everybody.
And it looks to me like, it's like, guys, can we please just at least entertain the idea that he is just an evil son of a bitch? Can we just entertain that idea? That it's not about full on, like, insanity. He doesn't know what he's doing and it's about insanity. He is insane in some capacity. In some sense. But it seems he's evil. Mm-hmm. He's an evil person. Yeah. And it sounds like he was created. So it's like, we got to at least talk about this idea. And I think it just wasn't happening.
I think it was the fact that it was like the 30s at this point, or are we in the 40s?
The 30s.
The 30s. And I think they just were like,
couldn't grasp
what
it.
The fuck? Like, we've never had anything like this before.
I mean, Detective King and the prosecution were definitely like, he is an evil son of a bitch. Mm-hmm. Like, can we just all agree on that? Uh-huh. But the defense was doing their job. They were just trying to go the other way. But Albert Jr. also went into, which I found strange, he said that it happened on full moons a lot, that Albert Fish, his father would turn red face, like very red in the face, like he had been out in the sun all day. And he said, and he would like crave red meat. And he said he would like sometimes eat raw meat on those nights and say like, I just need to have raw meat.
Well, do you think that was just a weird fucking bit that he was doing?
He was almost insinuating that his father was a werewolf.
Okay, yeah. I was getting that vibe.
And I was like, where were you going with that? Like, do you really think he was a werewolf? Like, did that... I hate that we'll never know. Like, I'm like, was it every full moon? Like, he said, most of the times on full moons, I would look outside and the moon would be full. And that's the days that he would be the strangest and be like red-faced and craving red meat and like acting like up on the religious stuff. And I'm like, so like, was he a werewolf? Is that what like is happening here?
Or do you think that maybe even unknowingly somehow his son was trying to kind of play into the insanity defense?
Oh, I definitely wonder that.
And hoping his dad would go to a hospital versus a prison.
I think that was definitely all of his kids, definitely their hopes, because that was their goals, because none of his kids wanted him back out on the streets. None of them. No. None of them were like, he is innocent. None of them said he needs to, you don't know him. None of them did that. They all were very much like, I'm going to give you what we knew about him, but I believe you. Like, I believe what happened because there was a lot of weird shit. He's
wild.
And also they were like, I'm not going to pretend that he didn't do this if he admitted to doing it. Mm-hmm. But they all wanted him in a hospital. They all were like, we don't want him to die. Yeah. Like, that's because no matter what, if he was found guilty here of first-degree murder, the mandatory sentence was death.
Right.
So they were like, we don't want him to die, regardless of what is happening here. Like, you know. So
I do wonder if that was partially...
I think he might have leaned into it a bit. And maybe also... he knew that he pissed off his father by denouncing him. And maybe he was trying to make up for it a little while. Like, I wonder if he was looking at him in the courtroom being like, see, like,
I gotta do something.
Like, I still care about you. Like, I'm still trying to like help you in some way, which is just sad. This is so sad. It's so tragic for these kids. Like, I feel horrible for them.
I feel horrible for everybody that Albert's life touched.
Yeah, it's like they had to be raised by Albert Fish, which, like, regardless of what kind of father he was, like, they saw some weird shit. And it's like their mother abandoned them after handing them, I guess what she did is, like, the day she left, she handed them all money to go see a movie. Oh. And then when they came back, she was gone. And had taken all their furniture. Beds. Yeah. And it's like, so they've just been like, the amount of trauma that they have is like outrageous. But after this particular testimony, where he was insinuating he was pretty much a werewolf,
I was like, is that what we're getting at right now?
Yeah, the press went wild.
I was like, does he also bark at the moon?
Yeah, that was when the press really gobbled this one up, because they love to, especially Albert Fish.
They need a headline.
They love to give him a nickname too. I'm like, just call him Albert Fish.
Right.
But they love to give him a nickname. So he was called the Thrill Vulture, the Ogre of Old Wisteria.
Oh.
The Vampire Man, and my favorite, the Moon Maniac.
The Moon Maniac.
All those way too cool names for
Me
him.
cleansing my crystals. The Moon Maniac. Drew's like, there she goes again. The Moon Maniac. Me running out back.
Me, I'm the Ogre of Old Wisteria.
You are absolutely not an ogre.
Just kidding. That's how I feel sometimes when I wake up in the morning.
That's how I think everybody feels when they wake up in the morning, like an ogre of Old Wisteria.
But you know what? Way too cool of names again for this guy. His name is Albert Fish. His name is Hamilton.
Ham and eggs.
That's his name. So Gertrude had nothing but good things to say on the stand, but she cried her eyes out on those stand. Like, she wept the whole entire time. She even walked up, in fact, after her testimony, she walked up to Edward Budd, Grace's brother, in the hallway outside of the courtroom and personally apologized for what her father had done. Oh. So these kids are like good kids. Like, they're good humans. And they're just like thrust into this, and they like, that's a big person to walk up to, like, because it's scary. You don't know how
they're going to react.
I mean, that person has every right to tell you to get fucked. Like, she walked right up to him and was like, I personally am apologizing for my father, and I could never bring your sister back, and I'm sorry.
Right.
Like, that's big.
You know what the thing is too? It's like, so obviously, like, we've sat here and said he was created. Yeah. But then how can we not sit there and say the same thing about these children? They saw...
Because he didn't abuse them.
No. And I know he was abused, obviously. But they also saw the most fucked up shit one could see. True. And turned out fine.
But
it's a different kind of trauma.
They also all said that they mostly saw this stuff. Not all of them saw it. And then the ones that did see it saw it when they were a little older.
But even when they were kids, he was having them beat him with a paddle.
But he was doing it under the guise of a game, which we will get to.
That is true.
And I'll talk about that game. He made it a game. So he made it seem like, now for sure, trauma.
Right.
Back then, they didn't know any better.
They didn't realize
They thought it was a fun game. My dad's fun. He lets us hit him with a paddle. Like, it's funny.
Oh, man.
That's the thing. So they were never really aware of the, like, abuse that was, like,
lingering.
Like, right behind the veil of decency kind of thing. Because they were never hit. They were never shown violence, like, as a way, like, towards them.
Right.
So he, on the other hand, that orphanage taught him, I mean...
like, beyond.
Because those orphanages definitely put pain and punishment and, like, sexual abuse all in the same pot all the time.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like, that was just gonna create. But again, not everybody who came out of that orphanage turned into Albert Fish.
Right. I think it had a hand, but I also think
something's going on.
Albert Fish is who he is.
Yeah, he's just an evil son of a bitch.
Or maybe it's paired with, like, you know, didn't he have head trauma?
He did have head trauma. He fell out of a cherry tree.
So maybe it's paired with that.
I think it's got to be a perfect mix.
Like an imperfect storm.
It really does. Now, on the stand, Gertrude actually even said, because I think they asked him about animals, like, did he ever hurt animals? And she said no. And they said, you know, what did your father say to children? Would he say anything to children if they struck animals, like if they hurt animals or were rough with animals? And she said, because they always had a dog, I guess. So they were like, you had a dog. Like, kids can be rough with dogs when they're younger. Like, what would he say? And she said, oh, he would always say, don't do that. You'll hurt the poor little dog. And then she said, he never smoked and he never drank. Like, he was never impaired in any way. Weird. And which, again, is just, like, wild. Now, his daughter Anna says she remembers something very specific about his, like, religious mania. One night she came down and he was rolled up in a carpet.
Yeah, you mentioned that.
With his head sticking out.
Yeah.
But she told him to go to bed. And the next morning he was still in the carpet. He had been in there all night. And then she asked him why. And he said, because John the Apostle told him to.
Right. He was snug as a bug in a rug.
And it's like, so he told you to roll yourself up in a carpet for 8 hours? Like, why? But another child, Eugene, said he once walked in and he found him naked and just standing at a window, like with a paintbrush, like a dry paintbrush with no paint on it. And he was just brushing the side of a window, like pretending to paint, just like vibing with just naked.
Do you think that... I'm like, do you think every 5 minutes... Do you think that John the Apostle, maybe in his mind, told him to do that because he had already hurt somebody and, like, that was the punishment for doing that?
Maybe.
You know?
Maybe
that was, like, some kind of religious delusion because he did know that killing was wrong.
That's true.
And then it was, like, he was punishing himself somehow for that.
Yeah.
By, like, making himself sit in a rug for 8 hours.
It's highly possible because she never gave, like, a time frame for it. So it could have been. Who knows? But... Eugene also said he did walk into him and he was sticking needles in himself at one point, and he told him that Christ told him to.
Okay.
And Eugene like sobbed on the stand when he told this story because it was a glass shatter moment for a lot of them. Now Mary Nichols, the stepdaughter, she got on the stand.
What the hell did she have to say?
And they were like, okay. And she said, he never physically sexually abused me. He was never physically like outwardly inappropriate to me.
Did they ask her about the letter?
But they said they didn't ask her about the letter, but they did ask her because it wasn't entered into evidence.
Okay.
But they did ask her, you know, did you ever see him hit himself? Did you ever see it? And she was like, well, we used to play this game that like now I'm seeing as something different. And they said, okay, what was that game? And she said it was called Buck, Buck, How Many Hands Up? And they were like, okay, you're going to have to explain that to me. And I don't know what that is. We're not
familiar.
So she said on the stand, we went into his room and he had a little pair of trunks, brown trunks that he put on. He took everything else off but those. And he put those on and came out into the front room and he got down on his hands and knees and he had a paint stick that he stirred paint with. He would give the stick to one of us and then he would get down on his hands and knees and we would sit on his back one at a time with our back facing him. And then we would put up so many fingers and he was to tell us how many fingers we had up. So like he can't see their fingers and he has to guess how many fingers they have up. And if he guessed right, which he never did, we weren't supposed to hit him. Sometimes he would even say more fingers than we even had on our hands. And if he never guessed right, why we would hit him as many fingers as we would have up.
Oh.
So they would sit on his back and he's like on his hands and knees. They'd put their hands up with however many fingers. He guesses because he can't see. And if he gets it right, then,
no hit.
Then we're good. But if he gets it wrong, however many fingers you're holding up, that's how many times you get to whack him with the paintbrush.
And it's weird, too, because obviously hearing that as an adult, you're like, what the actual fuck?
Yeah.
Hearing that as a kid, that does sound like a silly
hilarious
game.
Like it's just like, what? Right. Okay, I'm going to whack you with this paint thing? Like as a kid, you're like, this is hilarious.
Right.
Like, okay. And so they were like, all right, well, yeah, there you go. And the other one they would play is called Sack of Potatoes Over. And she said he put on those little trunks and then he would throw us up on his shoulder and we would slide down his back and we would scratch him with our nails as we went down his back. Uh-huh. By the time we would get through playing, his back would be red. And again, your grandpa's tossing you over his shoulder like a sack of potatoes and letting you just slide down the back.
Right.
And he's like, just scratch as you go down. When you're a kid, you're like, haha, this is funny. But it's when you put it in the context. And also it's like, why were you in little trunks?
When you said that, I was like, I gotta go.
That's the thing. But again, when you're a kid, it's your grandfather or your father or your stepfather.
Right.
You're not going to be like, I bet he's getting off on this. Like,
no,
that's
and
not
you're
a thing
child.
You're going to know or even consider.
And so he must have been married to her mom for like a little bit longer if she knew him as a kid.
Yeah, I think, this was when she was like, because I think it must have been, she was like 18 at this point.
When he wrote the letter, yeah.
They were married, I'm trying to think of, or she must have been 17 because she had just turned 18.
Yep.
And then she must have been like an early teen or maybe like
preteen or something.
Something like that, which is still like a kid.
Yeah, of course. Know? Yeah.
But no matter what, all those marriages happened within a year or so.
That's so crazy.
So it couldn't have been that long. But she also said that he got a package of needles once and stuck them under his fingernails.
Oh my God. Ow.
And then told them they could stick them under his fingernails too if they wanted to. And they all said they didn't want to.
I hate fingernails.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Have you ever broken an acrylic nail and like your actual nail comes off?
No.
Oh. I'm like feeling that right now. I'm like feeling it. I don't know. I'm like literally like putting pressure on my nails so they don't come off.
I don't like nails or like teeth coming out. Like when teeth are ripped out or nails are ripped out. Ugh.
If teeth are like violently ripped out, I can't handle it. But like one of your kids has a loose tooth, and I'm like, oh, I'll help you get it.
No, I can't. It freaks me out.
I used to love having loose teeth when I was little.
I'm not psyched about that.
But nails, get out of here.
Get out of here.
Get out of here.
Get out of here, kid.
Especially, oh my God, a hangnail. Sorry. Okay.
I was like, we're just going to go deep into this.
Oh,
like
God.
a pathology of why you hate nails.
Yeah, we are.
Now, after all the kids, they brought Dr. Wortham out. But he explained that Fish's job as a painter, and I do agree with this thing that he said. He said Fish's job as a painter was essential to his horror show of a personality. He said this job was one where he could be around kids in homes, in apartment buildings and things like it. He worked in places with basements where he took kids often.
Yep.
He would lure them in there. And he said he was almost always naked under his painter's coveralls.
Ew.
And he said for reasons, I'm sure you can deduce for yourself.
Of course.
He said it was all part of his predatory life. He worked to find victims, and his ideal victims were kids. He had it down to a science and only fell out of his pattern in ways when he started killing kids.
Yeah.
Because at first he was just raping them and like hurting them. He would just lure poor kids down to a basement with candy and shit.
Yeah, it was like an escalation.
Yeah, he was a literal boogeyman. And he said on the stand, quote, "Now this man has roamed around in basements and cellars for 50 years. There were so many innumerable instances that I can't even begin to give you how many there are. But I believe to the best of my knowledge that he has raped 100 children at least."
Holy God.
And here is where things got really scary because Dr. Wortham revealed that he believed this pattern that Fish basically admitted himself was way more far-reaching than people were really understanding. He said whenever he would rape or torture or hurt a child, he would just move on to another city, another neighborhood, or another state to work.
Yeah.
And he said he had lived or worked, quote, in no less than 23 states, from New York to Montana. And in every state, he has had something to do with children. And this to me says a lot. There are a lot more victims of Albert Fish. And there could be accomplices that were dropped along the way, one used in this state, one used in this state. Like he said, we know how to find each other.
We have a code.
And who knows if he even had teen accomplices or some shit, and he ended up using them too.
Well, it's like, remember the kid who, he was like, an angel came to me, and the man was like, you don't want to go in there.
Yeah.
People go in there and children go in there and they don't come out. How many children were in there?
Exactly.
You know?
And where are they?
Exactly.
Like, what is going on?
So he said they don't come out.
I feel like there's so many missing kid cases and so many unsolved murders of children in other states
to him
that around this time period, you got to look into it.
Absolutely.
You got to see. I swear I want to like go look at all these and see if I can connect any other ones. I want to connect more to him because I know he did more.
Of course he did. There's no doubt in my mind.
Yeah. You don't start the way he started.
No.
There had to have been some before that. Now, he explained that he had gathered a long and very sordid list of sexual perversions from the orphanage and from living on the streets as a young teen, and he had traveled overseas at some time or another. He had visited underground brothels that specialized in sadomasochism.
Yep.
And he then came back and he did all those things to kids. And he said he is certainly a sexual sadist and a pervert, but he wasn't looking so much to rape in the sense that we think of it. He was looking to inflict as much pain as possible to elicit as many sounds and as much evidence of pain as possible on children.
Oh, that
was the goal.
Twisted.
Pain and suffering was the goal. That is the end game here. He said, quote, he has on a number of occasions taken flowers, taken roses, and inserted those roses into his penis. Then he would stand before the mirror and look at himself. He would get a sexual gratification from that. In the end, he would eat the roses.
What?
Getting scared is one thing. Getting a thrill is, well, you want more of those in your life. The Genesis GV70 is built to thrill, baby. A thrilling yet elegant design always makes driving the GV70 an exciting adventure. Its powerful athletic stance screams performance and turns heads. Everybody's looking at you, girl, or boy, or whoever. Command the road and experience a class-leading standard 300 horsepower. Oh my God. Plus, discover the different dynamic drive modes for all different terrains. Choose between the different terrain modes for whatever road conditions you may encounter. The Genesis GV70's award-winning technology and performance lets you drive with comfort and drive with confidence all at the same time. It's an exciting SUV with intuitive tech that can make your ride smooth even when the road isn't. And its blind spot cameras allow you to see what's next to you. It's like having eyes on the side of your head. That's pretty iconic. Its performance, by the way, is measured not only in power, but in how it makes you feel confident, sexy. The Genesis GV70. Learn more at genesis.com and feel the GV70. These long dog days of summer, I mean, we just made it through a heat wave. Mama was parched through this heat wave. I was hitting up Dunkin' every single day, and I will continue to probably for the rest of my days, but especially this summer. Dunkin' is helping everyone stay cool this summer with its lineup of refreshers. These drinks are packed with bold, fruity flavors and served ice cold. It's amazing. Dunkin' refreshers are the perfect afternoon pick-me-up. I like to start my morning with them personally, and then sometimes I go back for a second one because I'm just feeling crazy. They come in a variety of delicious flavors, including fan favorites mango pineapple and strawberry dragon fruit. And then for a limited time, there's black cherry and there's pink pineapple. I'm going to tell you something right now, and it's a bold claim, let me tell you, but I stand behind it. Pink pineapple will change your life. It is so good. It has me feeling like I'm sitting in a pool, resort side, just living, honey. It's so yummy. Try your favorite flavor with green tea, sparkling water, lemonade, or Dunkin's all-new limeade. I haven't tried the limeade yet, but I'm going to. Usually I get my drinks made with green tea and occasionally lemonade, but I do really like the green tea. Or if you don't want to build your own, try one of Dunkin's curated refreshers like the Cherry Lime Ricky or the Ultimate Pink Daydream. The Cherry Lime Ricky, scrumptious. I could drink like 3 of these a day. They're so freaking yummy. Head to Dunkin' today and find your favorite refresher. Dunkin' refreshers contain less than 1% fruit juice. Limited time offer.
This is who we're talking about.
What?
Yeah. He had told the Dr. Wortham this.
He would eat them.
Now, he also went into the whole religion thing where Fish claimed he was a religious man and it was the thing he was most proud of and all that he was a religious man.
Yeah.
I don't buy it. Like I said before, he claimed part of the urge to kill was the story of Abraham and Isaac, like I talked about. And he figured if it wasn't right, then God or an angel would stop him before he finished it. That's a bullshit excuse, just like this insanity thing. Fish is an evil fuck, and he knows what he wanted to do. He wanted to get off on causing pain to children. End. Period. Fuck the religion angle. It's a cop-out, in my opinion. Wortham believed Fish's religious mania also made him eat Grace Budd's flesh and drink her blood because it was like communion.
What?
Personally?
No.
I don't buy that.
No.
If you do that as your prerogative, I do not agree with that.
No, I think that was, again, to get the insanity.
I think he was fucked up. And I do not think he saw any of this as any kind of religious experience. I think he uses that.
And he said the reason why he wanted to try her flesh before. He had met somebody who had experienced
Exactly. He said it right in the letter. And it's like, again, who are we to believe here? But Wortham believed he was insane. And he said that on the stand.
Yeah.
But a professor of neurology, Dr. Henry Riley, said he also believed that he was insane and that religious mania was the main component. He also agreed. Again, I disagree. He said, quote, that he had received a direct command or he had done this to Grace and to the other children. He said because he had received a direct command that he should take a virgin and sacrifice her so she shouldn't become a harlot. So wait. Was it a command to abduct and murder Grace? Was it a spontaneous change of plans when he saw her? Was it he thought she was a boy initially? because he has now claimed all of those things. So forgive me for now really so now this new virgin trumps harlot defense is happening.
Right.
I thought he thought that she was a boy when she saw it. Like, I thought, we don't want this little girl to become a harlot, so I was commanded by God to kill her. But wait, you just said that you thought she was a boy. And what about the whole Abraham and Isaac thing with the son? Isn't that the one? Are we confusing our Bible passages here?
It's just a desperate plea.
Get fucked, my dude.
Yeah.
Like, get fucked.
Truly.
You're really going to sit here and try to claim every single religious Bible passage is why you did this? Stop.
Right.
Stop.
It's just
using religion.
It's a waste of time.
And it just doesn't, I'm like, you have claimed 16 different things for why you did this.
And it's insulting to actual religious people.
That's what I mean.
Like,
it's
incredibly insulting.
You are making it seem like this is normal.
Right.
That this is what is meant out of those and it's like, no. Like, what are you talking about? And just to be, okay, I was commanded to do this. So that's why I did it. Oh, wait, no. When I saw her, I spontaneously had to change my plans. He said I came up with that party idea while she was going to get candy with her sister.
Uh-huh.
So wait, was it spontaneous or a command ahead of time? And then wait, so you wanted to change this little girl from a harlot to a virgin? You wanted to make sure she stayed a virgin? But you just said that you thought she was a boy. So it's... No. So that was annoying. And I imagine anybody in that courtroom that felt the same way I did probably wanted to, like, explode through the ceiling.
Yeah.
Now, Fish told his lawyer in a written note during the trial, he handed him a little note. And it said, before you sum up, read to the jury Jeremiah chapter 19, 9th verse.
Okay, do you have it?
And he did not read it, but that verse reads, and I will cause them to eat the flesh of their sons and the flesh of their daughters, and they shall eat every one of the flesh of his friend in the siege and straitness, wherewith their enemies and they that seek their lives shall straiten them.
It says that in the Bible.
I don't understand these kind of verses. I don't get what this is in reference to, but yeah, I guess. So he didn't read it. His lawyer did not read it. But he was like, I don't know if that was to, like, really try to hammer in the religious thing,
like,
which that's what I think it is. Like, see, the Bible said it. And it's like, okay, shut up.
Also, like, you're not supposed to take things literally. Sometimes
I'm like,
just
interpretation. I mean, that one I'm concerned about. But I have not read the Bible. I don't know a lot about the Bible, so I'm not going to sit here and claim to have some kind of authority on it.
If that's in there, I feel like we need a little bit of a copy edit.
I'm intrigued by that. I don't know what that means, but then his lawyer, Dempsey there, he gave his closing argument. And in it, he kind of blamed the buds.
Are you shitting me?
So he said...
No.
And I quote,
I would have fucking flipped a table.
Yeah.
I would have Teresa Judiced it.
There you go. In case you don't know what that's a reference to.
Real Housewives of New Jersey.
There you go. This is what he said.
He didn't.
But I honestly do believe, gentlemen, that one of the reasons why Mr. and Mrs. Budd feel so badly is because they permitted that little child, whom God had given to them for protection and care during her infancy and childhood, they permitted that little girl to be taken off by this defendant. This is not a case, gentlemen, where the man takes the little girl off the street or by force. This is a case where the man took the child with the consent and permission of the parents. Now, whether they appreciated it or not, the fiend that this man was, he was, after all, a total stranger to them. And I say to you advisedly that there is no feeling of protection in the animal sphere or in the human sphere, no feeling of protection such as a mother gives to her child. I submit that some of the responsibility must go to that family for permitting that little girl to go with an absolute stranger on that particular Sunday.
Yeah, it's Grace Budd's mom's fault that a sick, depraved man who tricked them and literally thought, like, she thought that he was giving her son a job.
That's the thing. It's like, we're talking like post-Depression era, like right as the Great Depression happened. Like... People were desperate.
Of course.
People were putting ads in the paper. Her son was an 18-year-old man. Who was going to go work for this
and
farmer.
help his family.
Who they met. Do I agree with allowing your child to walk off with this man? No, I don't. I'm not going to sit here and say that I would do anything like the Budds did. But I'm also not going to admonish them I don't know. It's not
Well,
their
this is
fault that some
also-
monster came into their house.
This is also one of those examples where it's a man in a position of power.
Yep.
Using said power to manipulate people, and then we go and blame the people who were manipulated. She probably didn't want to jeopardize her son's job.
And she said
that hadn't yet started.
She literally said that. She said she sat there for a second when he asked her to go and said, like, I don't want to make him feel weird. You know, my son's going to be working for him. I don't want to jeopardize this job and, like, make him feel insulted.
Right.
And she said she questioned herself, and she did it anyway, and she's living with that every day.
And you're going to just double down on that?
And also, an entire family was in on this decision, but we're going to only focus on the mother. It's the mother's job.
Of course.
Okay.
Because she's a woman, so
Okay,
of course
cool.
they're going to do that.
I'm like, you're an asshole.
Also,
like, what the hell?
Everybody, like, I'm not a parent, but every parent has made some mistake in their parenting that they're not proud of.
And it's like, this is something that these people are living with
For the
every
rest
day.
of her life.
Like, you do not need to take the responsibility off the man who murdered, like...
And I'm sorry, so are we, like, sentencing her to prison time, too? Is that why you're bringing that up? Because realistically, that has nothing to do with the fucking sentencing here.
For real. It's like, what are you doing
Being
here?
a dick.
She's not being put on trial. Leave them out of it.
Precisely.
Oh, it made me...
That's a dick move.
insane.
That's a dick move.
Well, in the prosecution, in their closing arguments, they said, quote, Mr. Dempsey in his closing remarks asked you to remember certain things about the defenseless Mr. Fish. Gentlemen, I want you to remember the defenseless little innocent Grace Budd as she kicked and screamed in the springtime of her life and said she would tell her mama.
Oh, I hate that part.
He also agreed with me about the religious bullshit. He said, quote, there was no divine hallucination or divine command when he purchased that pot cheese or those tools with which to carry out his nefarious plan. And when he sent the telegram, there was not a divine command. And when he went there that day, there was no divine command to go to that house. Don't put any stock, gentlemen, in this divine command business. That is merely a smokescreen again. Every step of Fish's crime spoke of premeditation and design, directed towards the fulfillment of a clear-cut goal, to satisfy his own sexual gratification. That is exactly it.
Yep.
I am 100% on his side.
Me too.
That divine command bullshit, because when you look at it, it's exactly that. Was it a divine command for you to buy strawberries and cheese with which to ply this family to take their children away?
Yep.
Was that part of it? Did God say buy those strawberries and tell them that you grew them on your farm and have lunch with them?
Unreal.
And give little Grace candy money and
Yep.
go, like, no, I don't think that was part of it. No. I don't really see God telling you to do that.
No.
But it took the jury less than an hour to decide that Albert Fish was guilty of first-degree murder with premeditation. He would be going to the electric chair at Sing Sing.
Bye.
So,
and he had been there before.
Edward Budd told reporters, Grace Budd's brother, he said, I'm glad of the verdict. It won't bring Gracie back, but it was what he deserved. Oh. And then Albert Budd, the father, said, I had a funny feeling when I heard it. It hit the top of my head when I realized he would go to the electric chair. It put a tremor through me, but he deserves it. Now, after the trial, he was put in front of a judge to formally hear his death sentence. And when it was read to him, he just smiled, waved, and said, thank you, Judge.
I would have kicked him in the teeth.
Later in the media, he said that famous quote, what a thrill it will be to die in the electric chair. It will be the supreme thrill, the only one I haven't tried.
He just wants to say that to be like, asshole. Can't get me.
Oh, yeah, he's just saying it to everybody to be like, ha, ha, ha,
like,
ha,
thanks
ha.
for the gift.
But then he goes back in his cell and he pees his pants in fear.
Exactly.
Now, only a few days after the trial and sentencing, because you're probably sitting here going, what about Billy Gaffney and Francis McDonald?
That was my next question. I was like, are we going to end without finding out what happens there?
Only a few days after the trial and sentencing, he suddenly said, I have more to tell you.
No.
And he admitted completely to murdering Billy Gaffney. The letter is the one I mentioned, I think, in part 1, the one that I'm like,
Don't read it.
No. And also, I'm so sorry a lot of you went and read it, and I know that's like partially...
But you said not to.
You know, telling a little kid not to touch the red button, and it's like, it's really hard not to. Like, I feel you. When somebody tells me not to, I immediately want to.
Mm-hmm.
I can't stress this enough that this is not one of those situations where I'm like, don't do it. It's like,
don't do
literally
it.
don't. Like, it's not worth it. You're not going to get anything out of it. It's a hard letter.
No. Somebody said that they got physically sick after reading it.
I felt physically sick after reading it. I'll read you just like a little snippet that has nothing to do with the actual like act. The letter said, there is a public dumping ground in Riker Avenue, Astoria. All kinds of junk has been thrown there for years. I will admit the motorman, which is the train conductor guy, a motorman, who positively identified me as getting off his car with a small boy was correct. I can tell you that at that time I was looking for a suitable place to do the job.
Wow.
He then described in horrid detail that he had tied up, tortured, murdered, and dismembered 4-year-old Billy Gaffney before bringing pieces of him home and eating him for days, is what he said. Now, I also saw in one of the old articles that Dempsey claimed that Fish had admitted to killing Billy Gaffney the February before he was convicted, and it was just never followed up on.
What?
That's wild.
Why?
I guess he had said it to some psychologist, and it just never
could have gone to trial.
Yeah. So December 21st, it was December 21st, 1934, the Brooklyn Daily Eagle talked about how the Gaffneys refused to believe that Albert Fish had stolen and killed their boy.
Really?
And I don't blame them.
Maybe because they knew of the horrific details of what happened to Grace Bud.
Well, they just were like, nope. And I guess the mom, Mrs. Gaffney, said, no, he had nothing to do with Billy. I never saw a man around these parts that looked anything like him. If he had taken Billy away, he'd have admitted it just as he did about Grace Bud. No, nothing like that ever happened to Billy. Billy still lives. I'll see him again someday.
Oh.
And then Mrs. Gaffney told the Times-Union in December, after this whole letter came out, she said, if Fish can identify the clothing, or excuse me, this wasn't Mrs. Gaffney, it was Mr. Gaffney.
Okay.
He said, quote, if Fish can identify the clothing Billy wore the day he disappeared, then I'll believe he took our boy, but not otherwise.
Did he?
So March 25th, he was transferred. He was given a chance to, and he never did, but I'll tell you.
Okay.
March 25th, he was transferred to Sing Sing prison finally. And that day, he finally admitted to abducting and killing Francis McDonnell. He said he strangled him with his own suspenders so hard that he bled, and that he only stopped there because he heard someone coming, he thought, and he just ran away after kicking some leaves onto the dead boy. He had intended to dismember him, he said. That was his intent, but he just didn't get to. So 3 days later, he kept a bone from a pork chop dinner he had at Sing Sing, sharpened it again, and carved an 8-inch cross into his torso.
Dude.
A show, in my opinion, that really was like, see? Religious.
Yep.
It's him trying to get, because he tried to get reprieves, he tried to get stays, so this was all part of the thing.
Yeah.
Now, not long after this, Mrs. Gaffney traveled to Sing Sing to talk to him.
Wow.
And
Mrs. Gaffney?
Mrs. Gaffney, so Billy Gaffney's mom. And she was the one who said, like, I'm not going to believe it unless he can give me, like, real details about. Fish refused to speak to her or see her.
What an
and
asshole.
Just pretended to cry and hid. She asked him questions. So he was trying to hide and like they were trying to pull him in. And as this is happening, she's yelling questions to him because she's like, you're going to fucking answer me. Oh. So she asked him questions about the clothing that Billy was wearing and details. And he wouldn't say it. He just wouldn't answer her. He wouldn't answer her. And after literal hours, like I think like 2 full hours of her trying to get him to talk to her, she was just still, nothing happened. So she just left. And she left saying he didn't do it.
Wow.
I'm not convinced. And honestly, good for her.
She doesn't need to.
Good for her.
Yeah, she doesn't need to think about this man doing what he did to other children to her child.
Because she said all she wants to believe is that it was a grieving mother who lost a child and has been bringing Billy up in a happy home.
Okay.
That's what she's like, that's what I believe. And it's like, then she believes that.
That's what she needed to believe.
Because he's going to the chair anyways for something else. So like, if she wants to believe that, like, I think that's better for her. Now, January 16th, 1936, he had a T-bone steak for lunch with the bone taken out.
Who gives him a fucking steak?
This was his last meal.
I hate that.
A roasted chicken with no bones for dinner. And 11:06 p.m., he was brought to the quote-unquote dance hall, what the prisoners called the death chamber. And he was dead in the electric chair by 11:09 p.m.
Sorry, go ahead.
He was the oldest man to ever be executed at Sing Sing prison.
Wow.
Yeah.
I also love that, like, the day they're gonna kill him, they're like, ooh, take the bones out.
Yeah, they're like, ooh, we don't want him to hurt himself.
At this point, it literally doesn't matter.
But honestly, it gives him pleasure to hurt himself, so I think they were like, we don't want you to have that last pleasure.
But I love that it took that long for them to realize, like, oh shit, don't give them bones.
We should remove those. Now, apparently people were talking and authorities were actually concerned that the needles he had inside of him might interfere with the electrocution.
Yeah.
But it didn't.
Oh, okay.
There were rumors that said it did, and there's like lore that's like, oh, it sparked and it was crazy. Robert Elliott, who was the official executioner for the state of New York, LOL, imagine getting that title. Like, imagine just being like, what do you do for work? I'm the official executioner of the state of New York.
You would never be fucked with.
That's horrifying.
You're basically the enforcer. You're Frankie the enforcer.
There you go. He had said all along that he was confident it was not going to interfere with the process. And afterwards, he was like, it did not interfere with the process. Like,
well, you have to think, too, they were like so, like, if you see the x-rays, they're thin.
Yeah, and they were deeply in there. A lot of them were corroded. And it's just like...
And they're covered in, like, tissue.
I was going to say, it's just one of those things that everyone's like, oh, he has metal inside of him. It's going to go crazy.
Right.
Now, I just want to end on this one little quick thing that he said. He told a story, Albert Fish, about when he was in the orphanage. He remembered a bunch of boys tying this like horse they had found, a wild horse, to a fence.
Jesus Christ.
And he said and like just a quick little like trigger warning, this is probably a fake story, but yeah. It's a hurting an animal situation, so skip. But it's quick. But he said that they lit the horse's tail on fire and then cut the rope so that the horse ran away. And he said, so the horse ran, but like it can never run away from the fire. It was on his tail. Oh. And he said, quote, that horse, that's me. That's the man of passion. The fire chases you and catches you, and then it's in your blood. And after that, it's the fire that has control, not the man. Blame the fire of passion for what Albert H. Fish has done.
No.
That's what he thought about himself. And also, wait, I thought it was religion.
Yeah.
Wait, it's the fire of passion now?
Well, is the fire of passion like almost kind of like also a religious thing?
Well, I'm like, wait, what is it? Explain.
I think he just wanted to be like, one more bullshit before I go.
Yeah. It's just a wild...
It's also such a sad tale.
So that is the story of Hamilton Fish.
Dude.
And I'm done.
Dude.
Never to return.
Should we go, like...
Until I start looking into who else he killed in other states, because I think I'm going to do that. But...
Oh my God.
I'm done.
But what do we do next?
With his life.
We need to do...
We're going to do a listener tales next, I think.
Oh, fuck yeah,
We're going to do a listener tales next, and then me, personally, I'm doing some fucking... spooky phenomenon or some haunted castle somewhere. That's where I'm going.
I have a rough one that I have ready for probably next week.
Maybe we'll probably do listener tales, maybe just a little reprieve, and then maybe we'll get to ashes. We'll give you a little bit of a little
reprieve there.
A little breather.
I started my research on this before you started Albert Fish, and then I was like, ooh, I gotta finish this case because it's really intriguing, but we might need to delay that.
Yeah, don't worry, we're just gonna give you a little bit of a palate cleanser in between. But if this story was something you were like, holy shit, I definitely recommend you read especially Deranged. But also, I know that I didn't really listen to any other podcast about Albert Fish because I never wanted to.
Yeah, no.
The only one I did listen to a long time ago was Albert Fish when Last Podcast on the Left did it.
Oh, okay.
And a lot of people were like mentioning their theories on some stuff. So I really highly recommend going and listening to their series because I'm sure they have like a different theory on certain things. And Marcus is just such a good fucking researcher and storyteller that I think you should definitely go listen to them. Not that they need my not that they're like dying for me to be like, go listen to them, give them numbers.
No, but we really like them.
But we just really like them. They were like one of my first first
like podcasts
that
yeah.
like true crime podcasts that I listened to.
And you showed them to me and you brought me to the live show.
I did. I brought you to the live show. We sat up in the nosebleeds. It was fun.
I got vertigo.
You did. You got vertigo from being so high.
Yeah.
But we love them and we just wanted to shout them out.
Yeah, we do.
We think they're awesome. But they're the ones that I would point you to because I've never listened to anyone else on this.
And they just do like such a fucking deep dive in their cases.
They did a great job. So definitely go do that. Read the book. But thank you for hanging in.
And then sage yourself.
Yeah, and thank you for...
Getting scared is one thing. Getting a thrill is, well, you want more of those in your life. The Genesis GV70 is built to thrill, baby. A thrilling yet elegant design always makes driving the GV70 an exciting adventure. Its powerful athletic stance screams performance and turns heads. Everybody's looking at you, girl, or boy, or whoever. Command the road and experience a class-leading standard 300 horsepower. Oh my God. Plus, discover the different dynamic drive modes for all different terrains. Choose between the different terrain modes for whatever road conditions you may encounter. The Genesis GV70's award-winning technology and performance lets you drive with comfort and drive with confidence all at the same time. It's an exciting SUV with intuitive tech that can make your ride smooth even when the road isn't. And its blind spot cameras allow you to see what's next to you. It's like having eyes on the side of your head. That's pretty iconic. Its performance, by the way, is measured not only in power, but in how it makes you feel confident, sexy. The Genesis GV70. Learn more at genesis.com and feel the GV70. The best summer pieces are the ones you end up wearing on repeat. Comfortable, versatile, and somehow right for almost every occasion. Quince makes it easy to create a summer wardrobe that you'll love, with elevated essentials made from premium materials like European linen, organic cotton, and washable silk, without the traditional retail markup. I love that! Quince's 100% European linen pants, dresses, and tops are the pieces that you absolutely will reach for all summer long. I absolutely love their linen. I have so many pairs of their linen pants, which you can dress up or you can dress down in the summer. Like, say you're going to a nice dinner, you can pair it with like a silk shirt, a really cute necklace, some good, makeup and an updo. Or if you're just looking for a more casual look, you can do the linen pants with like a loose button-up shirt and you still look really chic, kind of like, I don't know, Diane Keaton vibes, I kind of think. Also, it's not just apparel. Quince also offers elevated essentials for your home, from bedding and bath to kitchen essentials and furniture. They have it all, honey. I am a big lover of Quince, and I really do think you will be too. Make your summer wardrobe feel easier. Go to quince.com/morbid for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. Now available in Canada too. That's QUINCE.com/morbid for free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/morbid.
Hanging in for 4 parts because I know I originally was like, this is gonna be like 2 parts.
You're welcome.
It's gonna be 3 parts. No, it's gonna be 4 parts. I just couldn't stop. Can't stop.
Can't stop.
But thank you for being here with us, and
thank you for being here today.
Thank you.
And we hope you keep listening.
We hope you
keep
it
weird. I'm not gonna tell you not to get no weird.
Do it.
No, dude, you did a really good job.
Thank you.
There's only one Ozempic.
Hello, I'm Ozempic. Because this ad is 30 seconds, I can't get into everything I'm FDA approved to do, so I'm just going to play my jingle again. But first, ask your doctor about which FDA approved uses of me, the Ozempic pen, may be right for you. Call 1-833-OZEMPIC or visit Ozempic.com to view the medication guide and learn more about Ozempic semaglutide injection, 2 milligrams. Only Novo Nordisk makes FDA approved Ozempic. Now here's that jingle again.
There's only one Ozempic.
I like things my way. My coffee, my schedule, and my treatment. So I talked to my doctor about self-injecting with the Vyvgart Hytrulo prefilled syringe, which contains efgartigimod alpha and hyaluronidase QVFC. It's injected under your skin, subcutaneously. It means I can inject in my space, on my time. It's my treatment, my way. Visit VyvgartMyWay.com. That's VYVGART myway.com. And talk to your doctor about Vyvgart Hytrulo, brought to you by Argenx.